Welcome, everyone. Michael Lazaroff, Executive Director of Signature Cruise Experiences, and I will soon be joined by Aubrey Pavlik, who's our Guest Relations and a Communications Director. We're going to walk you through what's going to be happening on the Smooth Jazz Cruise, a 26.3. We're going to try to give you as much detail as we possibly can because we want everybody to enjoy the cruise. And the more that you know now, the less you have to worry about when you're on the ship. We're sailing from September 11th to September 18th. We're on the Celebrity Summit. That's our usual ship. Before I go further, more than half of the guests on the cruise have not sailed with us before, which is a really exciting. And so we're going to go into a little bit more detail than we normally do. Most of the time, we are talking to most people who have sailed with us a bunch of times, so it's more of a refresher course. But this time, we're going to really spend a couple minutes here. So we leave on Friday, September the 11th from Vancouver, and we end on Friday, September 18th in Los Angeles. This cruise is part of a series of ports of call that this ship is going to. This is our normal ship that we use in a January and February, but it's summers in Alaska, and so it is on its way to the Caribbean through the Panama Canal, and we are hijacking it for 2 weeks. 1 week with the Smooth Jazz Cruise 26.3, and 1 week with Bodie at Sea. We've done this itinerary once before. It was last year. We did a Journey of Jazz where we started in Vancouver, spent a full day in Victoria, overnighted in San Francisco, and then docked in Los Angeles. And I can tell you, it was one of the great experiences that we've ever had. It was just the weather was beautiful. It is interesting to be in these cities. Obviously, Vancouver is a fantastic place. We're not going to spend that much time there, but I'm sure that many of you will be arriving early. Take advantage of that. It is a great city, and Victoria is just gorgeous. It's almost like a postcard. You don't think it's actually real. It is a beautiful place. And when we were in San Francisco, the excursions are just wonderful. And if you haven't signed up for one of the excursions, please do. We're going to take you to Sonoma. We're going to take you to Napa. There's the Napa Valley Wine Train. We have a Branford Marsalis show at SF Jazz. We have all kinds of culinary events, tourism. It's just really fun, and people had a great time. They loved the winery tours, and they loved the Napa Valley Wine Train, which is a lot of fun. So those are our ports of call, and I'm going to flip to the next to remind you who our talent is for this. Oh, I'm sorry. Topics covered in. We're going to talk about the entertainment, the formats, and the venues, non-music events, onboard dining, included dining, specialty restaurants, room service, a non-music questions, and a celebrity cruises pre-cruise planner. That is what we've already covered once before in a earlier a webinar. But if you have questions, you can type in your questions on the top, and we will answer general questions now in real time. And if they are specific questions for a particular guest, we will follow up and you'll have answers shortly. So let's go to the talent. Next slide. We got a great lineup. Marcus and Boney, Brian Culbertson, Jonathan Candy Dolfer, Mindy Abear, Rick and Richard, and the return of huge cruise. First time he's been on the ship in a while. He hasn't been feeling well. He's all excited to be there. Um, that's going to be fun to see him back on the ship. And our import special guest, we decided that this cruise was going to be the cruise for the bands, and we've got two basically West Coast oriented bands who are just terrific. Tower of Power, they will be our guests when we're in Victoria, and War will be our guest when we're in San Francisco. It has been a bit since we've had a full band like this as our special guests, and we are really excited to be doing that. Alonzo Bowden's back. Talaya will be our event host. Eric Marienthal is the music director again. We have our staple of featured performers who seem to be on stage almost every night. Ms. Monet, Larry Braggs, the great DW3, Patches Stewart, Marcus Anderson, Markeel Jordan, and Ivan Perotti. And we got our three great bands. People don't realize how much music these guys have to learn for this particular cruise. They have to learn every song that 1/3 of all of our performers perform. Plus, they are doing their own shows and they have some other events. It really is a big deal for them, and they are absolutely terrific. And we are thrilled to have some of the greatest musicians ever on this particular cruise. Next slide. Good. Non-music questions. Attire, the dress code. We're on the West Coast. Be casual, and most importantly, be comfortable. There really isn't any reason to get dressed up. We do have one night. Everybody calls it formal night. It really isn't formal in terms of tuxedos or suits or even ties these days. And that's what the women wear. That was a joke. We're going to, it is just business casual. You should wear what you would wear going out in the evening, dinner and a show, because that's what you're going to be doing. Dinner and a show. The most important thing is to be comfortable and to have comfortable shoes. Even if all that you do on this cruise is simply go to the shows and go to the events, you're going to wind up walking more in all likelihood than you would normally. And just being on a ship, it is just a harder walk. So please be sure to have comfortable shoes. The nightly main show seating, blue and red. You guys have already picked which show you will be attending. The blue show is the first show, and then the red show is the second show. Typically, people who go to the blue show, they have dinner after the show, and typically people who have red cruise identification cards, they dine before the show, and that means dining in either the main dining room, the Ocean View Cafe, or one of several really amazing specialty restaurants, including a couple that we are creating. You can queue up for the nightly shows. It's about an hour before the show. We open the doors. You will see reserved seats. Those are for guests who have sailed with us 10 or more times. And really, on this particular cruise, because of all of the new guests, there really aren't that many reserved seats taken, particularly for the blue show. Queuing up, that's the doors is an hour. Safe. If you need seating assistance for entry, you should be filling out a form. It is in one of your get ready letters. Aubrey will be able to walk you through that. And if you sign up, then we can assist you getting into and out of the theater. We have a whole bunch of seating rules. It's probably one of the few rules that we have on on the cruise, when when you take your seat, you can reserve one seat next to you. Um, and that is good until the show starts. Once the show starts, any open seat is available for any guest, including the reserve seats. The reserve seats are only good through the opening of the a particular show. All other shows are a first come, first serve. You don't need a ticket. Um, we we encourage grazing. You go into a show late at night or in the afternoon when there's two or three or four things going on. Stay there for 10 minutes. You like it, you don't like it, or there's something else that you want to do. Feel free to pick up and leave. We call that grazing. Sometimes people try to go into a one venue, say it's the Sky Lounge, and there are three events in a row, and they bring their a sleeping bag, pillow, a couple meals, and they camp. We don't like camping. Camping is not fair to everybody. And the other problem with camping is we really try to clean up other venues in between shows. Photographs, you can take as many non-flash photography photographs as you want. We discourage it for the following reason. Number one, we have a professionals taking the photographs. Number two, we don't want you interfering with the a line of sight of any of the guests. And third, you paid all this money, you flew all this way to watch all of this terrific talent, and I would hate to see you looking at it through a little 3x5 box. It just doesn't make sense. So we discourage photographs, but again, you can take non-flash photography during the shows. Recording the shows, however, is absolutely prohibited. And I know that with the current type of equipment out there, it is very difficult to police, but we do try to police that. And the reason for no recording is that that's in our contracts with all of the artists. Okay. Talking to musicians, we encourage, they love it. The only question is please be polite, don't interfere with meals. Try not to talk to them when they are preparing for a show in one of the lounges. And when their show is over, we tell them to move because again, we have to clean up the area and we have to prepare the venue for the next show. So just use your good discretion, but they love talking to you. Merch, the artists bring on merch, they bring on CDs and other items like that. That is for their benefit. We don't charge anything for that. The ship takes a small cut because they process it. But this is a service that we provide for the artists, and they all bring on CDs for sale. Autographs for this cruise, what we've done for years is one night you'll get a card that will allow you to grab a poster for the cruise, and then we have all of the artists lined up and they can sign your poster. If you ever come to our office here in St. Louis, that's how we decorate the office with all of our signed posters. We just recently moved, and everyone said, "Well, you must have more people." And the answer is no, but we do have more posters, and that's why we had to move. You also do not have to do the autographs to get the poster, and it really is a really cool a memory for the cruise. Spa, somebody has a terrific spa. They have all kinds of what do you call them? Services that they provide, massages and things. You can get your teeth whitened. They have a full beauty shop, and they have shops to buy things. It is not a great place to buy stuff. I would not, you know, say that it's first line clothing material because it's not, but they have very nice jewelry and they will match prices that you will have on the when you go on into the various cities. So it's that isn't a bad way to go. Okay, next. Am I doing the online? Um, I mean the online excursions, Aubrey, or are you going to do that?
I'm happy to do it if you'd
Why
like.
don't you do it only because
Okay.
you you have been involved with it. I'm going to turn this over for the moment to Aubrey Pavlik again, who is our guest relations and our guest correspondence director, and her husband Brad has been instrumental in creating most, if not all, of these on land excursions that are really quite cool. Thank you, Aubrey.
Thanks, Michael. As Michael mentioned, we do have some really great and robust excursion options. As you all know, we have a fun and very exciting itinerary starting in Vancouver, and then we stop in Victoria on September 12th. And then we're in San Francisco overnight for the days of the 15th and the 16th. So in Victoria, we have a number of sightseeing tours that are still available. We do have a number of our tours that are fully reserved already. We have some limited availability, and I'm going to highlight just a few of them that we still have some availability on, in particular in San Francisco. So the Napa Valley Wine Train, as Michael mentioned, we did this same itinerary a year ago for Journey of Jazz, and the Napa Valley Wine Train actually sold out very quickly. So what we ended up doing for this year for you all was getting the train on both days. So the second day, excuse me, the Gourmet Express lunch has limited availability on Tuesday and then a little bit more on Wednesday. Our guests really enjoyed that. It takes you all around that Napa Valley area, shows you kind of all around where they're growing and has a little bit of narration and a really nice lunch to it as well. So, highly recommend that if that is of interest to you. Of course, we also have the very special Brian Simpson and Grace Kelly show at SF Jazz.
Oh, I got the one. Yeah.
And as
Yep.
Michael may chime in here, SF Jazz Center is a beautiful place that was really kind of created just for jazz. The acoustics in it are beautiful. It was exclusive to us. At some point, the sales will go live. So I encourage you, if that is of interest to you, that's on Wednesday. Take a look and purchase your tickets sooner rather than later because locals in San Francisco will have the opportunity to purchase some tickets soon. And then last but not least, culinary tours with Michael Bauer. So we have some tours on Tuesday and Wednesday. In particular, the dinners are limited availability, but some really, really fantastic restaurants. And then alongside Michael Bauer, who was the food critic for the San Francisco Chronicle. So, really, just kind of a fun, unique experience to get into some of the really world renowned restaurants that are in the San Francisco area, some unique experiences with the dim sum and other very cool experiences right along the coastline as well. So again, encourage you if you have not planned what you are doing in San Francisco and Victoria, please do take a look either online or give our office a call, and we would be happy to walk you through some of the available options. And for those of you who have already booked your excursions, you should have received an initial confirmation email that was sent in early June. And then we are going to be sending our detailed confirmation email. So that includes a little bit more as far as attire and all of that go about a month prior. So in mid-August, just a couple weeks from now. And then your final information and tickets will be delivered to you on board the ship. So really excited about these excursions. As we've discussed, our Journey of Jazz guests really enjoyed them, and I think we've just added on and made improvements to them. So looking forward to having you all experience them. All right, I will go on to the next slide now, which is our Celebrity Cruises pre-cruise planner. You should have first received your celebrity reservation number in our Get Ready email number 2. And your celebrity reservation number is really a key to completing any sort of amenity purchases via Celebrity's pre-cruise planner that you would like to make. So you can access the pre-cruise planner by first logging into your Celebrity Cruises account. We have provided a link here. It's celebritycruises.com/account. If you don't remember your Celebrity Cruises username and password, you're just going to go ahead and click Forgot Password. You'll be prompted to reset your credentials. If you haven't yet created a Celebrity Cruises account, if you've not sailed with them before or just never done it, you can do so by clicking Create an Account and then you follow the prompts. It's very easy to do. And just a quick note that your celebrity account is different from your Signature Cruise Experiences account that you created with us to book the cruise. So you can have two different logins for that. Just don't want you to get confused on that aspect. Once you are in your account, the Smooth Jazz Cruise 26.3 should be showing up in your upcoming cruises. So you're going to want to click on that Plan My Cruise button towards the bottom, and you can access the options that are available to you. So as you can see from this screenshot below, it's pretty easy to navigate within the platform. You can search via subject. They have Shorex, drinks, food, packages, etc. And really highly recommend making these purchases or at least exploring the different options if you're interested at all online in the comfort of your home. As we continue to go through this process, we'll kind of re-emphasize that to you for a couple different reasons. So we can go to the next slide here and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Um, so you can make a number of these purchases for the amenities prior to even stepping on board the ship, as I just mentioned. Again, we really highly recommend that you take advantage of the pre-cruise planner for a couple of reasons, and namely that is to save you time. So you're not stressing out on board on embarkation day, running around the ship trying to find what you want, and also money. So as you can see here from this chart, in particular with our beverage and Wi-Fi packages, we have secured some nice discounts and some special pricing on both beverage and internet packages from Celebrity. We have a 25% discount on 3 of the beverage packages. So the premium alcohol package, the classic alcohol package, and then the non-alcohol package. And then we also have a 25% discount on the premium Wi-Fi packages, and that's 1 and 2 devices. So those are some really nice discounts. They are already reflected in that pre-cruise planner platform that we just kind of talked through on how to access. So you don't need to do anything special other than to make the purchase to receive that discount. If you do choose to wait until you're on board the ship to make these purchases, those prices go back up to Celebrity's normal rate. So you will not receive that 25% discount. So again, if you're interested in drink or Wi-Fi packages, highly recommend taking a look and making those purchases prior to getting on board.
I'm going to pipe in on
Yeah, of
a
course.
beverage packages a little bit. Um, the the beverage packages that include alcohol, if if you do the math, you have to be a pretty serious drinker for it to work out. And I'm not suggesting that you don't do it, but I have found that most people benefit, and I know I do this personally. I buy the non-alcoholic package, and that gets me coffees and waters and things like that, special, specialty coffees, etc. And then I do my alcoholic intake by consumption, and it just seems to work out better, and less of a emphasis on making sure that you have enough drinks to make the beverage package make sense. So that is one of our recommendations. And if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer those for you.
Very nice point. Thank you, Michael. Um, We also, in Celebrity Cruises pre-cruise planner, they also have reservations for the specialty dining. So there are first night discounts in Tuscan Grill and Signature Steakhouse at Blue, which is one of those special themed restaurants that Michael mentioned that we help create with Celebrity. So again, if either of those are of interest to you, that's a nice way to experience them at a discounted rate. And then, of course, there's spa treatments and a bunch of different other amenities that you might want to purchase. Of course, if you do choose to wait till you're on board, you need to visit the various areas of the ship in order to book. So, as I mentioned before, we really want you to come on board on embarkation day and just be ready to really enjoy the cruise. So, that's why we really recommend taking a look at the pre-cruise planner just in the comfort of your own home one morning or one evening when you have a little bit of time, and making any of those purchases that you wish to. It is available to all of our booked guests. You can make your purchases or modifications. You can even cancel a purchase all the way up until 3 days prior to the cruise. So again, just want you to be able to take advantage of some of that special pricing and the convenience of doing it prior to getting on board.
And our recommendations are really recommendations. We do not participate in any of the income from any of the beverage packages, internet, restaurants, spa, anything. So we are basically here to help you figure out the best way for you to operate when you're on the cruise. We do not promote any of these items. We're just giving you what our best thoughts are. I've been cruising for more than 26 years. Aubrey has years and years of cruising, and so we do have some educated opinions about certain things. And I don't even know. This must be our 30th sailing on this particular ship. So we know
Mhm.
this ship very, very well.
Yes, thank you. All right, Emmy, I am ready for the next slide. Thank you. We will also now just move over to Celebrity Cruises online check-in. So online check-in or check-in in general is required for all guests. And that can also easily be completed using your same Celebrity Cruises account. You can complete this process anytime as of yesterday, so July 28th, for those of you who might be listening to this after we record it. Um, and to start, you go to the link provided here. So it's that same link. It's celebritycruises.com/booked. You're going to, again, enter your Celebrity Cruises username and password. If you don't know it, you forgot your password, you can be prompted to reset your credentials. If you haven't yet created an account, same thing as we just went through, you can create an account and follow those prompts very easily. Once you are logged in, the Smooth Jazz Cruise will appear in your upcoming cruises. You're going to go ahead and click on the Start Check-in and follow the prompts. It's pretty simple. It can be completed anytime up until 3 days prior to embarkation day. It leads you through a step-by-step process. It should probably take you less than 15 minutes per person to complete. You will want to have your passport, a credit card, and your Celebrity Cruises reservation number handy when you're going to go ahead and complete this. And during the process, you'll also be asked to pick a window of time that you'll be arriving to the terminal. These are available to you in half an hour windows between 11:30 and 11:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. So you should take your travel time into consideration when you're selecting your terminal arrival time. For instance, if your flight arrives at 10:30 a.m., we would not recommend selecting that first window. If you do arrive outside of your selected window, you may encounter a longer time to wait for boarding. Again, it really just helps with guest flow for those window periods that you select. So we encourage everybody to follow the window that they select during that online check-in process. And then after you complete your check-in, your Express Pass will be available for you to download and print. This is very important. It serves as your boarding pass on embarkation day. So we highly recommend that you print it. You can save it in your digital wallet if that's something that you typically do. But you will need that easily accessible on embarkation day. As far as luggage tags go, those are available starting at 30 days prior to embarkation. So for us, that is August 12th. And they are available for anybody who has completed their online check-in. So same thing, you're going to be in your celebrity account in order to access those luggage tags. You're going to want to print those out and attach them to each piece of luggage that you have once you're arriving in the Vancouver area. We definitely do not recommend putting it on before you're traveling just because they are paper tags. So we recommend doing it just before, just as you get into the Vancouver area. Um, it is very important as it tells Celebrity where to deliver your luggage once you're on board. In a prior get ready email and in subsequent emails, we will also give you a few links to clear reusable luggage tag options from Amazon. You can see a couple here. It really just makes those paper tags a little bit more durable. You can slip that printed luggage tag right in there, and then it just makes sure that your luggage, the tag does not get pulled off accidentally. Um, One important reason that we do suggest doing the online check-in tool rather than the Celebrity app, the mobile app, is that luggage tags are not available to print from the app. And we really appreciate that they are pre-printed. They'll make sure that they're easily legible and that definitely your luggage is getting to your stateroom in a timely fashion, not getting lost on board the ship.
I'm going to add a vote to the a clear luggage tag options. I think it's wonderful. They are very inexpensive and they last. We've we've had ours now for 5 or 6 years, and it's just it just makes the whole process much better. Being able to affix the paper tags in a way that won't be ripped and still visible is not easy. So I would highly recommend getting the clear luggage tags.
Great. We'll put those links in another get ready for you in the reminders section too, just in case you didn't see it thus far. So still time to purchase those for sure. All right. So Celebrity also does offer check-in via their mobile app. If you wish to utilize that, you can download the app in the App Store or Google Play. We also have a QR code that you can scan. It's right here. And again, it's going to walk you through a very similar process just on your phone as opposed to their online platform. Again, you can't print those luggage tags, so that would be the one kind of downside of using the mobile app check-in. However, if you are kind of last minute and or forgot to do the online check-in, mobile app check-in is available all the way through to embarkation morning. So that is one of the perks of the mobile app check-in. And then last but not least, if you do experience any sort of technical difficulties with your online check-in or you need some assistance with specific amenities or services, Celebrity Cruises does have a help desk that is available for our charter guests, and that's 844-278-9746. Unfortunately, we at Signature Cruise Experiences don't have access to Celebrity's backend of their platform. So we can't see specifics if you're kind of stuck on a certain step. We can try to help walk you through it. But if it's a more in-depth question or you're really stuck and need a little bit more assistance, Celebrity is going to be the best place to call to get that extra help. All right, so now we have arrived at embarkation day. Of course, we're going to be boarding the ship in Vancouver. We will be at the Canada Place cruise ship terminal. It's actually located right downtown. So, for those of you who are staying downtown, a lot of the hotels have a quick shuttle ride or an Uber taxi, very quick to get there. If you are driving yourself, there's parking right at the terminal. Of course, we are on Celebrity Summit, as we've mentioned a couple times. So you'll be seeing this summit right outside of that terminal. There are a few steps that you should follow to ensure the best experience when you're arriving at the terminal. Um, the terminal opens at 11:30, so don't recommend coming super early. If you're getting in at 8 a.m., you might want to go enjoy breakfast at one of the restaurants in downtown, especially if it's in walking distance, because the terminal does not open super early, especially in Vancouver. And then you must be in the terminal by 3 p.m. To get on board. So again, as I mentioned, you are required to select a terminal arrival time during that online check-in process. We do ask, as I mentioned before, that you just follow that arrival time. It helps with the guest flow in the terminal so that you show up at your arrival time, that we don't have everybody arriving all at the same time. And then in your hand, you're going to want a few must-have items that you should have very easily accessible when you're arriving to the terminal. That is your passport, your express pass, which we highly recommend printing out after you complete that online check-in process. Any medications that you might need or any personal items that you will need in the first couple hours upon getting on board the ship. So once you arrive at the terminal, make sure you have those items in your hand. You're not giving any of those items over to the luggage handlers who are going to be taking your checked luggage. So as we've discussed, you're going to have those celebrity luggage tags printed. Again, we recommend putting those luggage tags on your luggage once you've arrived in that Vancouver area, especially if you're not using that plastic kind of reusable holder. And then just make sure once you're arriving to the terminal, if you got there the day before, that that is still attached to your luggage. Once you get to the terminal, you're going to go ahead and hand it over to one of the porters that are going to be right there outside of the terminal and able to help you with your luggage. Um, if you did forget your luggage tags or somehow it got torn off of your luggage, those porters will have some blank luggage tags that they can handwrite your name and stateroom number on those. I would just double check those, make sure that it's 100% accurate. Inverting numbers is one of the top ways that luggage will get lost. So it's going to, 6480 instead of 4680. But anyway, just make sure that it is accurate if they're handwriting that. And then, of course, tipping is customary for those porters who are assisting you. So we highly recommend giving them a tip as they are the people that are ensuring that your luggage is on board the ship and then getting to your stateroom in a timely manner. After you hand over your luggage, you're going to enter the terminal. You'll complete your registration. If you've already completed your online check-in and the mobile check-in, it's going to be really quick If you didn't, there's a little bit more of a process that's involved once you get into the terminal. And then you're going to board the ship when you're called. So with Celebrity's arrival windows, it's pretty rare that you're waiting for a prolonged period of time in the terminal. Pretty much after you complete the registration process, you're going to be walking pretty much directly on board the ship. And as you walk on board the ship, staterooms are generally speaking ready for occupancy. They tend to be still doing a little bit of work as far as the details of your stateroom, but you can go ahead and access your stateroom. Your cruise identification card, also known as your room key, will be at your stateroom. There's a little mail slot outside of your door that you can access those. So you're going to go straight to your stateroom. You'll open that, make sure it has your name on it. You can go inside of your stateroom. You can place any of that hand luggage that you have with you in there for storage if you don't want to walk around with it. And then you can, refresh yourself if you need to, freshen up a little bit. Your stateroom that you, or excuse me, your luggage that you handed over to the porters will be at your stateroom by 6 p.m. But we generally say this is a great time to go out and explore the ship a little bit. So put down your luggage and then go explore. There are a couple handouts that are also available to you at boarding. We have a welcome letter, which addresses a lot of items for embarkation day in particular. Some of those items, if you want to make purchases, if you didn't make it in pre-cruise planner, it will remind you about seating, it will remind you about dining, how to access Wi-Fi, what bars are open, etc. So it's a really handy tool to be looking at. You'll get that as you're coming on board the ship. You'll also receive a souvenir program, which is a beautiful keepsake. It's stylized. It has all of the artists that will be on board with us, their photos, their bios. It will have a little bit about our itinerary, about the cruise in general. So it's a really nice keepsake for you. And then you'll also receive lanyards as you're walking on board. And those are just really nice for you to just tuck away that cruise identification card that you're going to get at your room on embarkation day. And you will need those with you at all times. So that's a convenient way to just make sure that you have it on you at all times. You can just wrap it around your neck and then walk out. And that those cruise identification cards also serve as your kind of entrance ticket, so to speak, for those main stage shows that Michael talked about, the red and the blue shows. Last but not least, we do have a Smooth Jazz Cruise app, and we will have a learning session on that app on embarkation day. So that the Smooth Jazz Cruise app and our performance schedule will be released about 10 days prior. You all will receive an email in our Get Ready series specific to with details on how to download, how to use it a little bit. But there is a learning session. So if you need to a little bit more of a tutorial on how to use it, we will have that. We highly recommend coming to that. All right. As I mentioned, once you're on board, you access your room first. We highly recommend going and getting a bite to eat. Ocean View Cafe is the main buffet. It's on deck 10. That is open beginning at 11:30. So basically, as you're coming on board, that will be accessible to you. Our Veranda Plus staterooms are previously called Aqua and Concierge. They will have a special lunch in the Cosmopolitan restaurant on deck 5, and that is from 11:30 to 1:30. And our suites will also have a special lunch 11:30 to 1:30 in Lumine. And then again, if you weren't able to make some of those reservations or purchases that you wish to in the pre-cruise planner, using the time between getting on board and that sail away party is a good time to do so. So again, one of the reasons we like to recommend people taking a look prior to getting on board is just because all of those different reservations happen in different locations. So we have some of them listed here, but people on board, in particular our team at Signature Cruise Experiences or any of the celebrity staff will be able to help direct you if you have questions on where you can make some of those purchases or if you want to learn more about them. All right. On embarkation day, all guests must also complete Celebrity's mandatory safety procedure. It's really quick and pretty simple to complete now. So you can watch the safety demonstration video. You can watch it on your app, on the Celebrity Cruises app, I should say, on your phone, or you can go to your stateroom and watch it on the TV in there. After you watch that quick video, it's probably about 2 minutes. You're going to proceed to your muster station. So, this is listed on your cruise identification card. It's also on the back of your stateroom door. Celebrity Cruises will also have a bunch of people, their crew members out and about. So, if you say, my muster station's A2, where is that? They can definitely help direct you and point you in the right direction. And then once you arrive to your muster station, Celebrity Cruises crew member will verify and record that you've completed your safety video and check-in, ask if you have any questions, answer those questions, and then you're done. So there's no time that everybody on the ship needs to do it. It's really from the time you get on board until about 3 o'clock. So we recommend doing it as soon as you get on board just to check it off the list since you have to do it on embarkation day. And then you can go about your day as you wish. And then again, we just recommend using this time that's a little bit of free time to walk around the ship, familiarize yourself with the ship, the key venues for entertainment, for eating, especially if it's your first time. So, for any of you who have not sailed with us before or have not sailed on Celebrity Summit, we do go through some of those key venues in that first webinar that we had probably a couple months ago now, and that is on our booked guest portal. So if you want to take a look at that, you are more than welcome to do that. We also have a sail away party that starts at 4 p.m. So we encourage everybody to come up and join us for that. It's a really fun way to start the cruise. And then, as I mentioned on the previous slide, we also have that the app information session at 2 p.m. in Cellar Masters. So if you want to learn more about using the Smooth Jazz Cruise app, you can come visit us there.
Very good.
Thank
We've
you.
got some themes. We are leaning into the West Coast, San Francisco vibe, and having war and a Tower of Power. We're kind of reliving the '60s a little bit with some of this stuff, which will be fun. I am I am I am pretty sure that Aubrey has read about the '60s. I actually lived through them, so I can talk about them a little more. The only the We do have a black and white night, and that's where we ask people to dress in either all black, white, or a black and white. That is, sort of fun. And then the peace, the peace, love, and war night. That's kind of our '60s tie-dye kind of, you know, back to that era. Um, there'll be contests and there'll be fun there. And for those of you who that's how you look now, that'll be easy. You just show up. But for most of us, we will draw back to our bell bottoms and tie-dye shirts and bandanas and all of that kind of stuff. That'll be fun. And then we have formal night, which again is just dress up night. It's um, a lot of men wear jackets. I wear a jacket, never wear a tie, and just something that you might wear going out. That's all. Uh, this is when we dock in Los Angeles, we now we have another couple thousand people coming on the ship because we're actually traveling back to Vancouver with the a Chris Bodie cruise, and that has Josh Groban, Elvis Costello, Boz Scaggs, Melody Gardot, Chris, and all of his amazing band members. The cruise that you're on, 26.3, is fully reserved and has been for months. We do have a few cabins on the Bodie cruise, and if you call the office and say that you were on the webinar today, there is a special price for some of the remaining staterooms, and that's going to be a terrific cruise. Obviously, terrific music, and then the other advantage is you can fly in and out of Vancouver. You can drive your car to Vancouver. You can that would make it easier. Anyway, the next sailings of the Smooth Jazz cruise, we've got 27 1 and 2, which are in um, the first 2 weeks in February of uh, of a 2027, and those one of them is fully reserved. Which one's that, Aubrey? This first one or second one?
27.2 is fully reserved, and
Full
we have
reserve,
under
and
50 on 27.1.
yeah, just a few cabins, but we do have cabins on 27.3, which is a spectacular event. We actually talked celebrity into taking our ship and going to Canada, New England for the fall colors. We're going to be going from a Quebec City to Boston. We're going to stop at all these beautiful Canadian cities. We'll be sailing on the St. Lawrence Seaway, and it's really going to be terrific. If you've never done a fall colors cruise, this is a terrific opportunity. It is usually one of the most cherished and fought over itineraries for all cruisers, let alone putting on top of it all of our amazing music and fun. So it's a really cool opportunity, and I look forward to it very, very much. It'll be a different experience than a lot of our other smooth jazz cruises because we're going to be going to some really beautiful port cities, and it is going to be fun. As a guest on a 26.3, you had the exclusive opportunity to reserve your stateroom for this cruise through the end of March. But even if you missed that window, you can still join us. And for you all, for the people that are on 26.3, we are reinstating your cruise price based upon your sailing history, which is obviously a lower price than what's on the website. This will be good from now through the end of your 27.3 cruise, and then it will go away forever. Um, we will be sending you more details about that shortly. Um, we have some questions. I need to get to a meeting, so I'm going to do some of the questions quickly, but I also want to, before I leave you all, we can't wait to see you. We haven't, this is the first smooth jazz cruise that we've done off of the West Coast in a decade, and it just is going to be really, really fun for us. It's either the 34th or 35th sailing of this cruise, which is amazing in and of itself. There are probably not probably there have been more sailings of the Smooth Jazz cruise than any other charter cruise in the world. So it is a very, very special for those who are new. We can't wait to show you the light. You're going to love it. It takes about, I don't know, a minute and a half to become part of the smooth jazz family when you're on the cruise. It is one of the most infectious, loving, wonderful, high-spirited atmospheres that we have, and it's just a lot of fun. So we look forward to it. Okay, questions. Will the main stage shows happening during the overnight in your San Francisco? Absolutely. It is the same schedule. I mean, meaning there'll be a red show, blue show. You you won't know that we are in San Francisco other than the fact that the ship will be docked. Okay, next. Will there be a gathering for Rosh Hashanah? Yes, there will. I'm in the process of hiring a rabbi for that. And we're going to do it at 11 o'clock so that it sort of doesn't. If my grandfather heard me say this, he would kill me. Uh, I, I want to make sure that Rosh Hashanah doesn't interfere with our shows. That's totally backwards, but that's how we're going to do it. So yes, there will be. Okay. Next, will the performance when? Aubrey, 7 days or 10 days?
10 days prior, and we will send an email out to you with detailed instructions on how you can access it.
It's They are still working on it. They're in a room right now. We don't let them out un, until it's perfect. Okay. Next, can I do tour excursions on the same day? You bet you can. You have to pick wisely, but yes, yes, you can. And if that's your goal, call the office and we will help you through that. Okay. Next, what times will staterooms be available on embarkation day? Right, right when you get on, they really have upgraded that process tremendously. Okay. I don't know this one. Um,
Will guests need to go through immigration when entering San Francisco? Will this cause a delay? Yes, guests will need to go through immigration since that is the first U.S. port that we're entering after coming from Canada. However, there's not much of a delay. It is likely going to be processed in the same way that we did for our Journey of Jazz cruise, which is basically as you're leaving out the terminal, you'll have to see somebody very briefly. So for those of you who are on our excursions, we do have it handled in a way that you will still get through, make sure that you're on time for your excursion. We'll disembark you in a group. For those of you who are not on our excursions, we will do somewhat of a almost like a tender ticket system where you can let us know when you would like to leave. So if you want to leave very early in the day, you can request that and get an early ticket. Or if you don't want to leave until a little bit later, you can do that. So we will have more details for you right on board the ship, but the actual mechanism of going through it is pretty simple and did not cause a delay last year.
okay. I'm going to leave the rest to Aubrey. You all have my email address, michael@scecruises.com. If you have any questions, I can't wait to see you guys on the ship. I keep reading a jazz notes, keep reading the Weekender, and we will bring you up to date with everything. Um, you're in for a great time. The fall is just absolutely beautiful in this area, and it's just a really delightful cruise. And of course, we're going to have the best of the best music ever. So thank you all very much. Bye.
Agreed. Emmy or Jennifer, are there any other questions of a general nature?
No other questions of a general nature.
Okay. For those of you who may have asked questions that are specific to you, we will, if we haven't already answered you, one of our team members will get back to you via email. But as Michael said, really appreciate you taking the time and joining us today. We're really looking forward to seeing you very shortly. And of course, this recording will be available on our book guest page on the website. So we'll be sending that out via one of our emails shortly. Thanks again and see you soon. Bye bye.